Picture this, July 20th, 1969. The world holds its breath. A man clad in a bulky spacesuit takes a step. It's Neil Armstrong, the first human to walk on another world. His words echo through history. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. This moment marks a turning point in human history. To understand the moon landing, we need to rewind a bit. The 1960s, a time of Cold War tensions and technological rivalry. The USA and the Soviet Union were locked in a fierce competition, the space race. It was a battle for supremacy in space exploration. The Soviets struck first, launching Sputnik 1, the first artificial satellite, in 1957. Then, Yuri Gagarin became the first human in space in 1961. The pressure was on the US. President John F. Kennedy responded with a bold challenge to land a man on the moon and return him safely to Earth before the decade's end. This ambitious goal ignited the imagination of a nation and spurred unprecedented scientific and engineering efforts. NASA, the newly formed space agency, embarked on a crash program to develop the technology needed for this daring mission. The Apollo program was born, a testament to human ingenuity and determination. Fast forward to July 1969. Apollo 11, crewed by Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins, is poised for launch. The world watches, captivated, as the mighty Saturn V rocket roars to life. It carries the hopes and dreams of a nation, indeed, of all humankind. After a 4-day journey, the lunar module, nicknamed Eagle, separates from the command module, Columbia. Armstrong and Aldrin are at the controls, guiding their fragile craft towards the lunar surface. Tension mounts as they navigate the treacherous lunar landscape, searching for a safe landing site. Then the words that electrified the world. Houston Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. It's a moment etched in history, a testament to human skill and courage. Armstrong and Aldrin have done it. They've landed on the moon. But amidst the celebrations, a seed of doubt is sown. Some people, skeptical of what they've seen, begin to question the authenticity of the moon landing. How could this be possible? Why haven't we been back? These questions, whispered at first, grow louder with time, fueled by Cold War mistrust and a distrust of government. Conspiracy theories take root, spreading like wildfire through the fertile ground of uncertainty. Some claim the moon landing was staged, a Hollywood production filmed in a desert studio. Others believe the government is hiding the truth about what Armstrong and Aldrin really found on the moon. These theories, while lacking evidence, gain traction. They tap into a deep-seated human desire for mystery, for narratives that challenge the official version of events. But before we delve into these conspiracies, let's remember one crucial thing. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And in the case of the moon landing, the evidence overwhelmingly points to one conclusion: we went to the moon. Section 5, Shadows of Doubt, Debunking the Myths. Claims persist that the moon landing photos and videos are fake. Conspiracy theorists point to the lack of stars, the waving flag, there's no air on the moon, and parallel shadows suggesting studio lighting. These claims crumble under scrutiny. The lack of stars is due to camera limitations. Short exposures couldn't capture faint stars. The flag was designed with a telescopic pole. Movement is from planting the flagpole. Parallel shadows are due to perspective and the sun's angle. These anomalies have logical explanations. Section 6. The waving flag, fact or fiction? Let's address the elephant in the room, or rather, the flag on the moon. Conspiracy theorists love to point to the American flag, seemingly flapping in the breeze, as proof that the moon landing was faked. After all, everyone knows there's no air on the moon, so how could the flag wave? It's a compelling argument, but it's based on a misunderstanding of basic physics. The flag wasn't flapping in the wind, it was designed that way. NASA knew that a regular flag would just droop on the moon, so they created a special flag with a telescopic pole along the top. This pole, when extended, created the illusion of a rippling flag, even though there was no wind to speak of. Think of it like a curtain rod. You extend the rod to hang your curtains, and the fabric drapes naturally, even though there's no wind blowing inside your house. The same principle applies to the lunar flag. It's a clever bit of engineering that has, unfortunately, been misinterpreted by some as evidence of a hoax. Section 7. Lost tapes and missing moon rocks. Another common conspiracy theory claims that NASA lost the original Apollo 11 tapes, further fueling suspicions of a cover-up. While it's true that some of the original telemetry tapes were accidentally erased and reused in the 1980s, this was a result of cost-cutting measures and bureaucratic blunders, not a sinister plot to hide the truth. Moreover, multiple backup copies of the data exist, and the missing telemetry data has since been reconstructed from other sources. The important thing to remember is that the moon landing wasn't just a visual spectacle, it was a complex scientific mission, and the data collected during the mission has been independently verified by scientists around the world. As for the moon rocks, over 842 pounds, 382 kilograms of lunar material were brought back to Earth by the Apollo missions. These rocks, unlike anything found on Earth, have been studied extensively by scientists worldwide, providing irrefutable proof of their lunar origin. So, while the loss of some original tapes was unfortunate, it doesn't invalidate the overwhelming evidence supporting the moon landing. Section 8. The Van Allen belts, a radioactive roadblock. Some conspiracy theorists argue that the Van Allen radiation belts, two donut-shaped regions of charged particles that surround Earth, would have been lethal to the Apollo astronauts. They claim that the radiation levels within these belts are so high that humans couldn't possibly survive a trip through them. While it's true that the Van Allen belts pose a radiation hazard, the Apollo missions were designed to minimize the astronauts' exposure. The spacecraft's trajectory was carefully planned to avoid the most intense regions of the belts, and the astronauts' spacesuits and the spacecraft itself provided additional shielding. Furthermore, the astronauts passed through the belts relatively quickly, limiting their overall radiation exposure. In fact, the total radiation dose received by the Apollo 11 crew during their entire mission was about the same as a chest X-ray. So, while the Van Allen belts are a legitimate concern for space travel, they were not an insurmountable obstacle for the Apollo missions. Section 9. Witness to history, independent verification. Perhaps the most compelling evidence for the moon landing comes from independent sources around the world. During the Apollo 11 mission, numerous tracking stations, observatories, and amateur astronomers tracked the spacecraft's trajectory. These independent observations, conducted by scientists and enthusiasts in different countries, all corroborated NASA's data, confirming the mission's authenticity. Moreover, the Soviet Union, despite being locked in a fierce space race with the US, never disputed the moon landing. If the US had faked the moon landing, the Soviets would have been the first to expose the hoax. The fact that they didn't speaks volumes about the legitimacy of the mission. The evidence from these independent sources provides a powerful counter-argument to the claims of a staged event. The moon landing was a global event, witnessed and documented by people and institutions around the world. Section 10. A legacy etched in stardust. The Apollo 11 mission was more than just a scientific endeavor. It was a defining moment in human history, a testament to our boundless curiosity and our desire to explore the unknown. The images of Armstrong and Aldrin walking on the moon, broadcast to a global audience, inspired generations of scientists, engineers, and dreamers. The technologies developed for the Apollo program, from rocketry and material science to computing and communications, have had a profound impact on our lives. But perhaps the most enduring legacy of Apollo 11 is the sense of wonder it ignited in the human spirit. It showed us that anything is possible if we dare to dream big and work together to achieve a common goal. The moon landing was a triumph not just for the United States, but for all humankind. It was a giant leap for mankind, a testament to our collective potential. Section 11. The future of space exploration, to infinity and beyond. The Apollo 11 mission marked the beginning of a new era in space exploration. It paved the way for future missions to the moon, robotic exploration of our solar system, and the development of the International Space Station. Today, as we stand on the cusp of a new era of space exploration, we're returning to the moon with the Artemis program, an international collaboration that aims to establish a sustainable human presence on the lunar surface. We're sending rovers to Mars, and we're developing new technologies that will enable us to travel farther and explore deeper into the cosmos than ever before.